Happy Monday, Striver. It's Brendan Burchard, founder of Growth Day, and I'm so excited about this week of your life. This daily fire is all about just putting some spirit into your heart, your mind, your body, your soul as you fire off into this week, ready to give, to serve, to lead, to enjoy this life. You know, I spent so much time thinking about what brings you here to Growth Day. Why do people do personal development? In fact, why don't more people do personal development? It's why I'm always just congratulating you as a striver, as an achiever, as a member of this important community, that you take the time to work on yourself. But think about that. What brought you into personal development? I've been talking about that a lot lately. You know, some people get into it because they're trying to solve some pain in their life or heal from something. Some people get into it because they've been inspired by somebody else who loved personal development. Some get into it because there's just no way they can reach the next level of success without a little bit more assistance and skill building. And some just luck their way into it. So let me share with you 4 reasons I got into personal development and see if any of them resonate and how each of these might actually help you set up a great week. You know, I'm always honest with all of my audiences about why I got into personal development. It was never any big aspirational desire to, quote unquote, change the world. In fact, if I can think of one word that most appropriately leads into why I got into personal development, it was the word escape. I was trying to escape my pain and my problems of life. If you heard my story before, when I was in high school, I fell in love with my high school sweetheart, and we thought we were going to get married one day, and we had a very deep and important first relationship. And I thought that, you know, my whole life was tied up into this person's whole life. And unfortunately, when that relationship fell apart, I fell apart. I'm sure you've heard me say that before. And I started desiring to escape life. I was so depressed, started planning the end of my life, and I just wanted to get away from the hurt. And so I started planning to take my life. And then, unrelated, I got into a car accident, and it smacked me hard enough in the head to realize I didn't want to die. I didn't want to leave this life. I just didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how to love anymore. I didn't know what to do with myself as a young, lost 19-year-old kid. And I knew that the pain was so bad that if I didn't figure out a better way in life, that I'd stay depressed forever, that I'd probably take my life. I was trying to escape pain, so I started seeking out research, books, stories, mentors, anything I could of like, how can I get rid of this sadness, this pain, this heartbreak? How can I escape the reality that I don't know how to have relationships, that I don't know how to have, you know, clarity about what I want to do with my life, that I don't know how to live through my heart and feel my heart anymore. So I know while some of us can make motivation and personal development, this quest to reach our full potential, seem so aspirational, many of us are just hurt and in pain and want to feel better. And we need to learn to manage our own emotions and find our own direction in life. And that was me. Of course, there was another, I say, flip to that coin, if you will. And that's on the other side of escape, was seeking enjoyment. I wanted to deeply enjoy life. You know, I was grateful for my life after that car accident. The car accident made me realize the beauty, the magnificence, the gift that life is. And I wanted to enjoy it. I thought, if I've been granted this second chance in life, I didn't enjoy the first go round. Let me enjoy this one. And that got something, that fired something up inside of my heart and my soul. I thought, I want to enjoy the day, feel the day, experience the day. I want to learn to swim in the moments of each day with real feeling and presence. I want to have that sense of awakening and aliveness that I've heard other people talk about in personal development. People who sought or found a higher sense of actualization or enlightenment or awakening on their own terms, where suddenly life had a greater pop and presence and energy and vitality. And I knew that that was possible, and I wanted that. I wanted to enjoy life more, but I knew I didn't have the plan. Hence the quest for personal development. Now, let me pause here, because here we are on Monday, and ask, is there anything this week or anything in your life that you're trying to escape, and anything in your life that you're trying to enjoy more of? Could you plan that for this week? Say, okay, this week, I no longer want to deal with these things, so I'm going to delegate them or cut them out of my life or stop doing them or stop allowing them. That is escaping that dread, that frustration, that pain of the things that we have to deal with. It's okay not to want those in our life, but we must take action to remove those things, those tasks, those activities, those people. I think it's important on every single week to get clarity about what we're just not going to deal with, what we're going to extract, remove, delegate, stop doing, delete from our lives. Otherwise, every week we just pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on. We get busier and busier and busier. Sometimes it's okay. What do I want to escape from? What do I want to stop? And not from a disempowering place of mind, like escape, like run, like a victim, but rather say, listen, I would feel like I was released from this dread or frustration or pain if I took proactive actions this week to minimize those things, to stop those things, to set boundaries, to ask for help. It's okay. When I wanted to escape my pain, the best thing I could have done was ask for help. I waited too many years to do that. And that's why we're always here in personal development, here in Growth Day, we are sharing with you, you're not on this journey alone. There's lots of people who've been here before. There's lots of people all around you who care about you, who want to hear from you. And if you don't believe that's true, it's just a factor of how little you've continued to reach out. Because sometimes when you reach out, people don't hear it the first time. They don't get it. They're busy with their own lives. So what do? You escape back into your own silo of suffering. You stay silent. You escape into the comfort of not saying anything. And the odd thing is, that's the very thing, trying to escape from the difficult conversations of asking for help, that prevents us from escaping the pain. Does that make sense? Maybe this week is a breakthrough week for you. On the flip side, isn't there some things you want to enjoy this week? We always say, what can you get excited about this week? But maybe there's some things you want to enjoy this week. A little more time with your family. Maybe you're going to enjoy a little bit more time with your passions. Maybe you're going to do that thing that brings you so much creativity or contribution. But you're going to enjoy it. Maybe even it's just, you're going to feel the day. You're really going to experience it today. Even amid all the busyness, can you feel the day? So many people go throughout their lives and they never feel it. They never sense it. It's just not there. And what do? They blame everything else. Well, I was busy. No, you never taught yourself to be mindful and present. Well, they kept telling me to do, and the boss kept putting more on the plate. No, you never learned to work fully engaged. Well, I don't like what I do. That's all right. You never learned to prioritize. You never learned to experience what you're going through in life, like the great Buddhist monks would: carry water, chop wood, be present with the daily activities, even those that seem mundane, stupid, administrative, simple. I believe you can enjoy life 5 times more this week for no other reason than you simply decided to. You don't have to just change your job, escape your marriage, run away, get mad, quit, The truth is, there's so much enjoyment. Most people, they're not enjoying life even at 20% its potentialities. It's that like there's so much more for them every day, every moment, every interaction with the kids, with the people they care for, love, lead, serve. I believe that. There's a lot more to enjoy. What could you enjoy this week? I think another thing that brought me into personal development was the desire to excel. I wanted to excel in life. I wanted to achieve. I wanted to gain mastery. I wanted to become better, not necessarily better than others. I never had that I need to be at the top. I didn't have a lot of competition in my life. It's kind of funny. I kind of lacked that bone. So many of my friends have told me, and they've interviewed with me on my podcast, or they've been somewhere like, Brendan, I was competitive with you. And I was like, what? I never had that sense. I don't know where I just never had it. I guess because I was enjoying so much along the way, I thought the pie was huge. I never realized that so many people were scrounging, trying to get theirs, that they didn't realize there was so much abundance, prosperity for all of us. I didn't have that competitive edge. I never even had that competitive edge when I was in martial arts. If someone kicked my butt in martial arts, I was like, good job. Well, I guess I'll have to develop more skill here not to get my butt kicked so much. So I wanted to excel, but mostly for skill development. I'll give you an example. When I decided I wanted to be able to communicate well and communicate and speak to large groups of people, it wasn't a skill I had. But from the outset, I said, I'm going to get good at that. Not, geez, I'd like to do that so I can survive and not throw up on myself on stage in front of people. No, it was like, I'm going to get good at that. I'm going to be world class at that. I'll develop excellence and mastery in that. Not so I could say, hey, look at me, because it wasn't like I said, I want to be in front of, 50,000 people. And it wasn't like, I just want to survive. I was like, you know what? I appreciate when I read Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches and books. I appreciate when I read the great leaders of history. I appreciate when I hear or watch or read something from a Churchill or a Mandela or from God in the Bible. I just would think, wow, this is excellent communication. I would love to aspire to that. I'd love to excel as a communicator one day. Again, not to be better than anybody else. I just thought they're having impact. And if I'm going to learn communication and speaking, I might as well learn to do it well, because I knew that the human psyche really cares about competency, developing knowledge, skill, ability, talents. I mean, real capabilities to do something. We thrive on that as human beings. It makes us special. And I thought, you know what? I guess I could do that. And I don't mean it makes us special as individuals. I mean, it makes us special as a species. Our ability to master tools, to master agriculture, to master group is what allowed us to excel and to grow and to evolve. Well, that's in your DNA. You want to excel. It's just sometimes you don't know how. But I know that's what brought you probably into personal and professional development. You just wanted to build your skills so you could be better, so you could contribute, earn more, make a difference, do something, explore your passions more deeply. And so what do you want to excel at this week? Like, what's something you just want to be great at this week? What are some skills that you'd love to develop or flex this week? Could you capture these things in your journal here in Growth Day as we go? I'm sure you have been. Some things you like to escape or change. Some things you like to enjoy and ways you could enjoy this week more. Some things you love to excel at. Skills you like to flex, show, develop this week. And finally, I would say what really brought me into personal development was the desire to empower others. I did enough personal development to know how to be happy, to really monitor and be aware of my thoughts, because awareness is really the first gate to personal development. If you ever studied my work before, I gained a great awareness to my real thoughts, feelings, desires, needs, hopes, aspirations, goals, dreams. I got a real awareness to how I treated other people and how I let other people treat me, to how I reacted to situations, to when my confidence would be up or down, to when my productivity and focus would be accelerated or take steps back. I got real awareness. And that was young. That was in my early 20s. I felt like I got a high degree of awareness, certainly a lot more than I had before. But at that point, I read literally hundreds of books in personal development. Then I realized, okay, it's not just about awareness and self-awareness. I realized also there was a big game of acceptance to be played. I had to learn how to accept myself and accept other people, to get rid of those feelings of hurt and anger and hatred that I could have in my body when dealing with other relationships. And I learned that if I didn't learn how to accept myself and accept other people, well, then I could certainly never change or contribute. I also learned to be more accountable, to be accountable for how I treated other people. Because up to that point, I would say, I was quite a selfish young man. And I know some people always make fun of me. Gosh, why are you always talking about what you were like when you were 19? I said, because that was my demarcation line. The person I became after that and before that was very different because of the car accident and my second chance at life from God. And I realized that I'd never really taken accountability for my own emotions, my own thoughts. And I also failed at keeping other people accountable to how they treated me. And I thought, I need to learn how to do that. But after all of that you do in personal development, it's a lot of self-work and social work, isn't it? Working on yourself, work on your social relationships. But at some point, you're aware enough, you get good at it, and you start to realize maybe you could help other people too. You can inspire them. You could empower them. But that's also going to require some more capabilities, some things you're going to have to excel at. I had to learn how to excel at human behavior change. I had to learn how to excel at coaching. I had to learn how to excel at speaking and persuasion and negotiation and conflict management and leadership. And none of those things came natural to me. I had to develop those. I developed them by reading books, by going to seminars, by following great teachers on those subjects, by trying to seek out mentors and projects and jobs that involved those things. And so I wanted to become better so I could help more. Does that make sense? It was a big reason I got into personal development. I'm sure you've read a lot of books about communication or persuasion or leadership or coaching or mentoring or helping people or social intelligence or sociology or psychology, because you want to understand other people, but you want to understand them and understand yourself so that you can help them and help yourself. These are major reasons people get into personal development: escape, enjoyment, excelling, empowering others. So on that last note, who do you want to empower this week? Who do you want to empower this week? Is it specifically one of your kids who's struggling? Or maybe it's somebody in your family, somebody at work, one of those clients you've just been kind of neglecting. It's been somebody that really needs some empowerment, some encouragement from you. Who is it? What are you going to do for them? What are you going to say? How can you reach out? I hope that this Daily Fire has inspired just a simple idea, and that is we can have a lot more intention in a lot more nuanced ways as we start each of our weeks. It's why you're here in the Daily Fire. Of course, you already know many of these things. But hey, this Monday, you got a brand new framework for thinking about the week. Things you want to escape or enjoy or excel at or empower. I think it's a nice framework to get you going. So make sure you do the work of Growth Day. Go into your journal, capture what you're going to do in each of those categories. Don't forget, as you run into struggles, as it's difficult, be a role model. Honor the struggle. Bring the joy. Make sure you always remember that you are stronger than you think. The future holds good things for you because every day is a new chance to grow. Every day is a chance that you realize, oh, I'm here for a reason. I can do something with my life. Every day, there's a community right here in Growth Day with you, building up, learning, skilling up, empowering each other, encouraging each other. You are not alone on this journey, my friend. We are here doing this work together.